Hello everyone, it's Emma and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today, I'm going to be talking about some non-aesthetic things in my zero waste life. I wanted to make this video because I know so many people think that for zero waste, you have to have a pantry full of glass jars with your bulk foods, and you have to only collect your trash in a jar, no plastic in sight, all that sort of stuff. And I want to break that stigma around zero waste because that's not the point of zero waste. The point of zero waste is not to look any certain way, but to reduce your physical and invisible waste. I'm going to, kind of expose myself again like I did in my things I still buy in plastic video. If I talk a little bit too fast for you, you can change the speed of this video using the gear icon right down here. As well as, if you're new here, welcome. I post new videos every Monday and Thursday Japan Standard Time, which is Sunday and Wednesday in the US. If you're interested in my type of content, which is practical sustainability, I'll really appreciate if you hit subscribe and the bell for post notifications. One last thing before we get started, this video is in collaboration with Kristen from Strolling Through Life. Our channels are very similar. We focus on kind of both practical sustainability. So I'll go ahead and roll her clip of what her channel and video is about.
Hey, I'm Kristen and my channel is Strolling Through Life, where I talk about all things sustainable living. I love reviewing zero waste and sustainable products over there as well. But for this collab, I'm gonna be showing you what has changed within my own sustainable lifestyle during this pandemic, because a lot has definitely changed. So make sure to watch Emma's video all the way through, and then when you're done, go ahead and hop on over to my channel and I will see you there soon.
Okay, so first we have random bags. And you might be thinking, what the heck is this? I sell banana bread in order to keep bananas out of the landfill. This is an old cereal bag that I actually resealed with my hair straightener. So I keep these old bags to use for things like banana bread or picking up dog poop. I'm preventing these from going into the landfill at least immediately. I'm giving them more life. Like this one probably can't be reused if you use it for dog poop. Obviously you can't reuse it again, but if I were to just use this to put some banana bread in, that person who I give it to can then reuse this bag again. Same with random things like zip ties and this beautiful drawer I'll show you. This drawer is certainly not aesthetically pleasing. I've got a bunch of Ziploc bags that I keep washing and reusing, a bunch of tin foil that I keep washing and reusing, as well as plastic. There's lots of plastic in here, but we were gifted these items, so instead of putting them in the landfill and getting no use out of them, I thought I'd get some use out of them. Another one that's really not aesthetically pleasing is my cabinet full of plastic containers. Back when we used to buy peanut butter in jars, I make my own peanut butter now. I thought it was so wasteful to throw all these away. I have like 6 of these, and then I've got a few tubs from like pretzels and chia seeds and rice, but I keep them because they are so great to store my homemade vegetable broth in. So I make my homemade vegetable broth, I pour them in here, and then I freeze them because these are completely freezer safe. I've been reusing these for like 2 years. They're really, really great, but they're ugly. They are so ugly. A lot of other people would probably just use glass jars, which works completely fine. I wanted to get some more use out of those plastic things first. Okay, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that a few months ago, I sliced up one of my silicone baking mats, and it's very, very devastating. This was in my favorite zero waste swaps video. I have so many holes in this because I sliced a pizza and I was not very careful about it. This is not aesthetically pleasing because it's literally like ripping, but I'm keeping it anyway because this mat is only like 2 years old and it has the potential for so much more life. So I keep it even though it's falling apart and still use it. I think that's a big thing too around zero waste is getting the most use and the most life out of your items, even if they are a little broken. And you're gonna see that as a very common theme throughout this video. I try to repair them if I can. If they've just like, a bowl has a little chip in the side, I'm not gonna throw it out, I'm gonna keep using it. Okay, this next one over here is really, really ugly. It's quite the eyesore. But in Japan, you have to sort your recycling very, very thoroughly, and this is pretty common throughout a lot of the world, not the US though. So in order to sort our recycling to make sure that it actually gets picked up, we have 4 recycle bins and a trash can in our kitchen. So it's really unaesthetically pleasing. There they are. We've got paper way over there, trash, plastic, metal, glass, or plastic, metal, glass, whatever. So that's quite ugly, as you can see, but it helps me recycle properly and make sure that it's gonna get picked up and not just put immediately into the landfill. So it's really important that we do that, even though it's ugly. Here's one over here. This one is probably one of my favorites. Whoa. Occasionally, Daniel and I will forget to take our silverware to work with us, so we have to opt for a plastic one, and I'm talking like very occasionally. So we have this small section in our utensil drawer full of plasticware. But the great news about plasticware is that you can actually reuse it. This is dishwasher safe. So we put these in our dishwasher with our other utensils and we use these over and over again. So it's completely unaesthetically pleasing. You know, when you open up this drawer and you see a bunch of plasticware, it actually is helping us prevent more waste because now we have plenty of spoons to go around and we're getting the most use out of them, even though they're supposed to be a single-use item. Next in the kitchen, over here, in this cabinet up here, we have a bunch of plastic Tupperware containers, if you will. We've got like a Cool Whip, we've got like some takeout containers that we reuse. So unaesthetically pleasing. Most people, when they think about zero waste, they think about no plastic at all. But really, how wasteful would it be for me to throw those out, even though they're still perfectly good, just so I can get glass and metal containers instead? I might as well get the most use out of these since I already bought them like 3 years ago. I'm gonna use them until they're completely crapped out. And then once that happens, then I'll replace it with glass or metal. And that's another thing too, is you don't have to have the label of zero waste or I'm living zero waste. You can just say you're living more sustainably. And by doing that, one of those things is to already use what you have. While we're here too, I also have my old bamboo toothbrushes. Yes, they are compostable, but just like anything that's compostable, you might as well get the most use out of it before you put it in your compost. So once we're like, these are probably a little bit too gross for us to be using in our mouths, we set them here by the sink so we can use them to scrub things that have a lot of grime on them or they're hard to reach, like with our other brush. You can also use these to paint, like make splatter paint, or you can take the plastic bristles off and use them to like mark plants in your garden. There are a lot of ways to reuse toothbrushes instead of just instantly putting it in your compost. This one's really kind of funny. Probably can't see it much on this bowl. Yeah, you can. We super glued this bowl back together because it broke, as well as 2 other bowls that we super glued back together because they broke. And we continue to use them. Before those 2 ceramic bowls broke, they had chips on the side. They were so ugly. Instead of, oh no, it's chipped, into the landfill, let's buy a new one. Even then, repairing is so much better than being like, oh man, my bowl broke, I need to go buy a new one. No, our first thought is always, how can we fix this before we put it in the landfill? Okay, I have one more thing in the kitchen, I think, and that is, drum roll please. Oh, you can't really see it. It's this bag right here. It is full of milk cartons, aka Tetra Pak, that I have cut appropriately and cleaned so that it can be recycled. You cannot just put milk cartons into your paper recycling because it's a mixed material, as you can see, metal/plastic and paper. It's a terrible material. I'm gonna admit, I'm too lazy to make my own plant milk and I don't like it. I do not like homemade plant milk. Love store-bought soy milk. I use it in moderation, but I still buy it occasionally. And so because I'm doing that, I am taking the responsibility to make sure this gets recycled properly. There's several facilities, several drop-off locations around the place where I live. So just look for one near you if you also cannot give up packaged milk. Along those lines, I also am hoarding a bunch of toothpaste tubes under my sink in the bathroom in order for those to be recycled as well. Those have to be shipped through TerraCycle, but instead of just shipping a package of 1 toothpaste tube, I'm just gonna keep as much as I can and then ship them all at once. I already pointed out to you all of my plastic containers up here. I also reuse a lot of jars, which is really great. That means I don't have to buy brand new jars. And these are unaesthetically pleasing because, look, the label is half come off. I am way too lazy to take labels off, and that's fine. The point is that I'm reusing these and I'm getting the most use out of them as possible, but who cares if they're ugly? That's what I'm trying to do with this video. Who cares if your zero waste life is a little bit ugly, a little bit off the norm? What matters is that you're making a big difference by reusing stuff, even if it's ugly. Something else too, I'm not gonna talk about it too much in depth in this video because I already have that full video outlining all the things I still buy in plastic. I encourage you to check that out after this, kind of goes hand in hand. But that's something else that I do that is completely not aesthetic with zero waste. I still buy stuff in plastic because I have to, and sometimes it's still the best option. I'll show you what I mean. Back to the pantry. It's so much better to buy this huge container of chia seeds than say, this is not chia seeds, but say a bag of chia seeds this big or smaller, just because you get so much more, even if it does come in plastic. And I say this for people who don't have access to a bulk store, or bulk stores might be too expensive for you. Just buy the largest option you can, even if it does come in plastic, because this is considerably less packaging than if I were having to buy 10 or so small packages. And that goes seriously for everything, for nuts, for chips, for sauces. Buy the biggest option you can, even if it does come in plastic, that's a lot less packaging. Especially, here, I'll show you a better example with my spices. Just pretend this is garlic for the explanation, but what I mean is, yes, this is glass, but this is only half of an ounce, 12 grams, while this is 21 ounces, 595 grams, but it comes in plastic. So don't be turned off by the fact that glass is better, glass is better, glass is better, because it's really not. And you can learn more about the impact of glass in this video, because this is so much less packaging, even though it's plastic. At least it's recyclable plastic, but this equals 49 of these. So you would have to use 49 little glass jars that are still single use instead of just one plastic one. And that's what I mean. I know it's not aesthetically pleasing to have plastic in your house as a zero waster, but this is considerably less packaging in the long run. The first item I'd like to talk about in the bathroom is my shampoo and conditioner bottles. Now, these aren't mine. One of my friends who was moving off of the island was gonna throw these away. And I was like, that's really terrible, because both of them were at least half full, if not more. So I'm like, I'm gonna take them and get the most use out of them, even though they are in plastic. And the same goes if you're just wake up one day and you wanna live zero waste. Don't throw bottles like these away just because they're plastic and not as good for the environment. It's so much more detrimental to throw away a completely good product than it is to get all the use out of it, even though it comes in plastic. Don't mind Mochi back there. So yeah, I bring this up because this is still in my shower and it looks like I'm not living zero waste, but really it is less wasteful than buying even a brand new shampoo bar, because I'm saving this from the landfill. Same with this toothbrush. This is the one that Dan is using right now. We found this, I forget if we got it from a friend or if we found it while we were dumpster diving. Either way, it's plastic. It looks terrible in our zero waste home. This was a brand new toothbrush that was about to end up in the landfill, so really it's less wasteful than buying a brand new bamboo toothbrush that would have to be shipped thousands of miles to us because we live on a tiny island. And yeah, along the lines of the shampoo and conditioner, we're still using a lot of products that we bought years ago in plastic, like lotion, deodorant, toothpaste, all that sort of stuff. We still have some things that come in plastic. Okay, the next thing I'd like to talk about is Mochi's ugly cat tree. Come here. Yay! She loves it though, obviously, but it is the ugliest thing I have in this entire house. It falls apart sometimes and I repair it, but it's eco-friendly because I actually made this out of trash. And if you haven't seen that video by chance, it's linked up here. We made this from old cans, old wood, old fabric. The only thing we had to buy new was some of the twine and glue sticks. That was it. So it's great to upcycle things, even if they're not the cutest. It's very functional. She absolutely loves it. And we kept a lot of trash out of the landfill. While I'm here, I want to talk about clothing and repairing clothing. This sweater I actually repaired poorly. And same with a few other things that I repair for myself, because I'm not a seamstress, I'm not an expert sewer, but I repair what I can by myself to keep the sweater out of the landfill because it had a hole in it. Other things, like I've had ripped belt loops, other rips in my jeans that I just fix really quick. I don't do the best job. You can definitely hire a professional to do this to make it more aesthetically pleasing, but I personally don't care that much. So some of my clothes aren't the most aesthetically pleasing because they have homemade patches in them. But again, keeping the stuff out of the landfill, which makes it eco-friendly. Okay, another one. I'm sure everyone has something like this in their home, and that is a bag of bags. So occasionally when I buy something off of Facebook Marketplace, the person will deliver it to me in a bag. Sometimes my mom will include bags and boxes she ships to me as packing material instead of like going and buying brand new packing peanuts. Some of these are still bags that we accumulated 3 years ago when we first moved here and we didn't have reusables yet. We keep them all in this one bag so that way I know where they are and I can reuse them. Instead of getting a bag from someone and putting it in the trash, I put it in here so I can reuse it later. I use them for cat litter bags, small trash bags like for our bathroom, bedroom, office. I also use them for packing material. Instead of like buying packing peanuts or bubble wrap, I will just use this for packing. I'll use them to pick up litter. There are so many ways that you can reuse bags instead of instantly throwing them away. I have one more inside the house and then we're gonna go outside. And that would be my ugly shoes. I talked about these in the video that I went and got my sandals repaired because I wanted to get these repaired too. They're in such bad shape that he could not even repair them. For example, we've got these rips in the toe, as well as, this one do it? No, the other one. This one. Look at that. Like, I get rocks stuck in there when I go on hikes and stuff. The insides, the soles, so beat up. Focus on the shoe. I've got tears on the side. This one's beyond the tread wearing out. They are the ugliest, most torn up shoes I have ever owned. They are really great for like if I know we're going on a really muddy hike and I don't want to get my nice shoes dirty, if I'm mowing the grass, doing other yard work. They're great shoes to just throw on to protect my feet, but I don't have to worry about them getting beat up because they're already beat up. This is disgusting. I'm only a little ashamed of this, but I found this water bottle, this huge water bottle, as litter, like probably 2 years ago. And I use this as a watering can for my indoor plants. I will fill it up with water from my dehumidifier whenever it empties or whenever it's full and I empty it. And I use this to water my plants. But obviously it's ugly because it's sitting in my living room in its plastic jar. But I've had it so long that it started to create an ecosystem. That's literally algae in there. So obviously not aesthetically pleasing at all. I'm repurposing this bottle as much as I can. I'm reusing the water inside of it instead of using brand new water. But there's a few more things outside, so let's go check those out. I have these really ugly buckets down here that look the same as those water bottles. They have like ecosystems growing in the bottom. They're plastic. They're just sitting out here on my balcony. But I found them as litter. And again, I'm repurposing the water. That's where I pour my dehumidifier water so that I can reuse it to water my plants. I guess another one too I just thought of is my drying rack. It's ugly, it's made out of plastic, and my underwear are on display for the world to see. But I'm saving energy by not using my drying machine, by just using this handy dandy drying rack instead that we also got secondhand. And then a last item that I would like to show you that I'm just gonna insert some old clips because I don't wanna go outside is my compost bin. It is the ugliest thing ever. I think I've said that about all of these. All of these things are so ugly, but I made my compost bin. I'll put the full video up here of me building it. I built my own compost bin from trash again. I found everything in the trash and it has saved so much of my food from going to landfill. I have been using that thing for like 7 or 8 months and it's still not full. It's amazing watching compost be made and diverting all that waste from the landfill. So it's really cool. It's a really cool zero waste swap, but mine is personally very ugly. But that's okay because I'm proud of it. I made it myself and I'm saving a lot of waste. I hope that this inspires you to live a zero waste-ish life, even if you don't have like a bulk store, you don't have glass jars, you don't have this and this and this and this and that. You can live more sustainably every single day by doing small things like reusing plastic jars, reusing glass jars, making your own stuff out of trash and upcycling. Like small things like that. And I have a full free ways to live zero waste series. I'll leave it up here if I have enough cards. If not, it will be linked down below. Full of small things like I showed you today. Repairing, upcycling, reusing, all the other R's. So there's no real mold for zero waste. There's no real aesthetic. And I love that we have the internet to spread the word of zero waste, but I hate the internet because it's made zero waste an aesthetic. And that's not the point. The point is to reduce our impact on the planet, whether it's cute or not. And I hope that I'm helping break that stigma with this video. I hope this inspires other creators to do videos along this line. But if anything, I just really hope that it inspires you guys to live more zero waste, even if you don't have the aesthetic part down. I don't think I ever will, because on this channel, we're all about practical sustainability and not aesthetic sustainability. Along those lines, I have a TikTok now where I'm going to be starting to show more easy, practical ways to live zero waste in under a minute. So if you're into that, go follow me on TikTok. I'll leave it linked down below. I also post a lot of them onto Reels on Instagram. If you prefer Instagram over TikTok, they'll be available on both platforms. But I'm going to be starting to show free ways I live low waste, non-aesthetic things in my zero waste life, things I still buy in plastic, and really making zero waste free, easy, fun, and accessible to almost everyone, because that's the point, is to prove that everyday people can live more sustainably. You don't have to be some big zero waster. I've been rambling enough. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you found any value in it, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. Let me know some non-aesthetic things in your zero waste life down below. I'm really interested to see if anyone has similar or very different ones from me. Maybe I'll do a part 2 if there's interest. Let me know if you'd like to see a part 2 to this. And check out the rest of this sort of mini series along the lines of my favorite zero waste items, my favorite secondhand items, and things I still buy in plastic. They all kind of go hand in hand. Again, don't forget to check me out on my other social media platforms for quick and easy zero waste tips that you can get almost every single day instead of just the days that I post on YouTube. And until next time, remember that these small changes you make have a big impact in the long run. Bye guys. One last thing. Oh, my mic isn't on. Okay, so I lied. There are a few more things in the kitchen that why am I in slow motion? Just pretend this is garlic for the experiment, for the explanation. Boop, 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 boop. Or bubble wrap. Instead of buying like packing peanuts or plastic wrap, bubble wrap, jeez. Instead of buying packing peanuts, but ow, that really hurts. I'm just gonna take them off. Ow, that really hurts. Ow. That's all I have for today, dough. 35 minutes, not bad.